Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
Like many an organization in this state, the North Carolina Symphony Orchestra has had its wings clipped by this economic downturn. But the orchestra is still flying thanks to voluntary pay cuts and some help from the state legislature. John Dancy reports that the orchestra season is in full swing.
Summer vacation is over, and the North Carolina Symphony is back together again. That was not altogether certain last spring. The orchestra was in a deep financial hole, in debt, endowment funds drying up, ticket sales sliding, corporate funding dwindling. But by this fall, music director Grant Llewellyn could make a wry joke about the situation, likening it to one of the orchestra's first concert pieces this year.
Death and transfiguration. It's going to be that sort of a season.
Members of the orchestra agreed to take a 17% pay cut this year to help the orchestra stay afloat. Llewellyn and upper management of the orchestra agreed to cut their own salaries. Staff members also took pay cuts. Concerts by high-priced guest artists were deferred, and the orchestra rearranged its repertoire to play music it already had in its library, cutting rental fees for music scores. The result? The season is underway.
It's great to be back, my goodness. This hall was built for this music, or this music was built for this hall, I don't know.
North Carolina Symphony President David Chambliss-Waters thinks the orchestra has turned a corner.
I feel like we've stabilized. It's been a very, very challenging couple of years as the economy did some things that we really were not expecting. We've had to make some pretty significant cutbacks, but I think and I hope the worst is behind us. And looking forward, we're feeling very confident about the orchestra's future.
Waters says the orchestra's cuts wrung more than $2 million out of the budget.
I think at times like these, it really causes you to focus sharply on what is most important to you. And what is most important to this orchestra is statewide service and music education.
It was that, music education, that finally persuaded the state legislature to give the orchestra an additional $2 million for next year. It's a matching grant. The orchestra must raise $8 million in private funds to get the $2 million. David Waters says the grant is the key to future fundraising.
I think we've got a great story to tell. I think that our donors are going to be as motivated as ever to support the symphony, and if we can use the matching grant to motivate the community to choose this moment to step up, I think it's going to be a very positive outcome for everybody. Jimmy Gilmore is the orchestra's principal clarinetist and president of the orchestra union. Last summer, he took on a personal mission of talking to school teachers, reminding them of the orchestra's role in education.
Okay, now that was a live piece of music, and the reason I wanted to do that for you is because this is what the North Carolina Symphony does all the time. We go around the state giving live performances.
Music director Grant Llewellyn says the audience should see no difference in the orchestra's performances.
None whatsoever, I would hope, because frankly we're still playing the world's greatest repertoire with all our energy and with all our enthusiasm and with exactly what the composers required and asked for in this wonderful concert hall and with a fantastic band of musicians. As jagged an entry as we possibly can.
The orchestra's first concert was planned long before the current economic crisis. It was entitled Life and Death. At this point, with the economy turning around and help from the state, orchestra leaders are confident the patient will live.
Hard times are nothing new for the symphony. The 77-year-old orchestra has survived the Great Depression, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and now this current recession. Despite the downturn, the orchestra has managed to add 2 additional concerts to its season this year.
Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.